Good morning, everybody. So today is Wednesday the 27th, and the day has come for the harvester to come out, and still dark out. It is, what time is it, sweetie?
6:45.
6:45. So I've been out here since about 6 o'clock this morning, and now we're gonna get them all tied up, and the processor should be here in about 20 minutes or so. And also we need to clean out the back of the truck. So today the processor is going to come. He's going to process the meat for us, and then we take it over to the butcher. And our normal butcher is super backed up right now, so we are taking it to a new butcher, and so because this new butcher is a little bit further, our processor doesn't drive that far, so we're going to have to drive the meat out to the butcher. And what that means is that we have to clean out the back of the truck, which is filled with stuff, all kinds of work equipment. So we're gonna have to clean that out and bleach it out, and then we're gonna wrap up the meat in sheets and place it in the back of the truck, and then take it over to the butcher so that it can get packaged. Yeah, and John's still under the weather, so he's still doing it, but we're just like tired, so exhausted. After I put the cedar in that little garden, I was like out for the count. I was so pooped out. So so today let's just get these lambs all tied up on their harnesses and clean out this truck. And I'm not going to show you the process of the lambs being harvested, because no one wants to see that. But maybe there's people out there that do want to see it, but I don't want to see it. Okay, so let's just get this this job and this task done. These have to be by far the sweetest lambs I have ever raised. Ever raised. I love these lambs, especially the big boy. If he wasn't castrated, I would try to get John to like keep him and breed him. But no. Oh shoot, the processor's here. Time to get to work. All right. like that, they're gonna be processed. So I normally just go inside and I pray and make sure that you guys don't see the process, because I usually don't watch it or do anything like that. John usually does it, because that's the one part my heart is not 100% in, is I'll raise them for meat, but as far as seeing them go, I just can't do it yet. That's just not something I can do yet. And there's a lot of people out there that say that you should be able to raise your meat and watch it, being processed. But so I have John. John does it. We're a team. So I'm just gonna go inside and go and pray and get some sheets ready to go, and finish cleaning up the back of the truck so that we could take it over to our butcher, and then we'll go from there, and I'll show you how much meat we get back from the 3 lambs that we raised. All right, so yeah, I'll see you in just a little bit. All right, the deed is done, and now we are heading off to the butcher to drop off our meat. John says that these were by far the sweetest lambs that we have ever had the honor to raise, and that is the truth. Okay, so it has been a few days. It is now October 8th, which is my nephew's birthday. Happy birthday if you're watching. Happy birthday. So we harvested, we processed the meat. The processor came out and we harvested all of the meat from our 3 lambs. And we did not get that much as we did last year. Last year we got, I want to say 125 or 145 pounds of meat. And this year we only got 95 or 90 pounds of meat. I think around there, 90 to 95 pounds of meat, which is really not that much. And I don't know if it's going to last us until the full year, like our last 3 lambs. And I think it's just because we jumped the gun. I kept telling John that we should have harvested them like towards the end of October, beginning of November, but he was very persistent about having the processor come out beginning of October, because that's when we normally have our processor come out for our our previous lambs. But because we got these lambs a little later in the season, I felt like we could have waited, but it's all right. What's done is done. And usually the day that we process the lambs, I have all kinds of huge plans. I'm going to work in the garden and do all kinds of things, but because it's such a sad day for me, that I usually just don't do anything. We usually just kind of, just don't do anything. But this time was a little different because our butcher, because our processor wasn't able to take our lambs to the butcher, so we ended up having to do that process. So that was a bit different, having to do that, but it wasn't too bad. So now that that's done and over with, the lambs are ready to be picked up. All the meat has been packaged, and so I believe on Monday or on Tuesday we're gonna pick up all of the meat. But we still need to buy a deep freezer because our freezer just took a dump on us. So that's a big bummer. But I've been using that freezer, that broken down freezer, to store some of our feed in, so that way the rodents or whatever critters don't get in it. So that's worked out pretty well. And the garden is still flourishing. Oh my goodness, the tomatoes are still growing. It's so hard to pull them out, even though I need some of the beds for my fall garden. Let me just give you a tour of how the garden is doing, what's growing, what's happening, what I've been doing, what we've been up to. We are getting ready for a Halloween party, so that is so exciting. But first, let's do this garden tour, and I'll show you all the decorations for the Halloween party. Okay, so over here in this bed, nothing. We don't have anything planned. Nothing planted yet. I still have a bunch of this grass growing that I have not pulled out yet because it's just a hot mess. And I just, I've been procrastinating on this one because I know it's going to be a tough one. Not like the other beds. The other beds I've been working on and, been pulling out the weeds little by little. But this one, no, I have not been doing anything. Let me fix this tripod real fast. Kind of a little low in this little area. So that is what is happening with this garden bed. Now look at this one right here. Look at that garden bed. Let me show you how this garden bed is doing. All right, so over here in this garden bed, we have our peppers, and our peppers are doing so good. So right here is our purple, no, this is just a regular, I want to say red bell pepper. It's going to turn red, and right now I only have one. Now I have already harvested quite a few bell peppers from this one plant. And then we have our shishito peppers over here. Let me give you a good look. So I have a ton of shishito peppers still. Look at all those peppers. Some of them are turning red, which are, you know, I get to harvest these and reuse the seeds. But that's how the shishito peppers are doing. I just cannot keep up with it. It's just growing so many peppers. And then right here is our purple bell pepper, and I've harvested all the purple bell pepper from here. Amazing. It still has some, it has one bell pepper on here. Oh my goodness, this kitty. Look at this kitty right here. My little sidekick. So here's another, right over here. Let's get back to the garden tour. Right over here we have our cayenne peppers. I have so many cayenne peppers. Oh my goodness, kitty. And then he wants me to pet him. And then I have 2 of those cayenne peppers and 2 of the purple bell peppers that have not disappointed. I have pulled off so many bell pepper. And, you know, at first when I was pulling, I was just taking one at a time. Now my refrigerator is full with purple bell pepper, which at first I was thinking it was not giving me enough, and it has given me plenty. So now let's go on to the other side and let me show you these Roma tomatoes. You guys, look at these San Marzanos. My goodness. And there are so many tomatoes. I don't know if you could see that. Look at that. Do you see all those tomatoes on there? And it's filled. It's filled with tomatoes. There's some red tomatoes on there right now ripening up. Let me see if I can pull one off right here. Oh, shoot. There it is. Look at that. My goodness. And they're so delicious. So I have so many of them still, and I just don't have the heart to pull out this tomato plant. And there's so many of them in here that are doing so well. And yeah, because they're doing so well. So I'm just going to continue to let it grow and see if we can get any more tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, from these tomatoes, because there's just so many. I don't even know. I hope they all turn red before the cold weather sits in, which today is supposed to be 92 degrees. Yesterday was like 95 degrees. It was so warm. And I know the next couple days it's supposed to cool down to like the 70s, 75 or somewhere around there. So we'll see how these tomatoes do. Hopefully they do well, and I could harvest some more of these Roma tomatoes and, you know, just make some more salsa, make some more sauce, or whatever I need them for. Man, look at that. And there's so many tomatoes in there. Do you see that? Look at all those tomatoes. Just amazing how many tomatoes are on here. And it's the beginning of October, and they still look so fresh and so good. So here at this garden bed, I am finished amending it. I just had to add, let's see, 1, 2, 3 more rows of drip in this one, just so that way I'm going to plant, everything has an ample amount of water, because I'm going to plant carrots right in this first row. I'm going to do garlic in the center, and I'm going to do spinach at the very end right in there, once I get the drip in. So now over here, let me show you how this garden bed is doing. Okay, over here in this jungle mess is our bronze torch. And look, all of my tomatoes, I don't know if you see that. Do you see that? Look at that. Look at all those tomatoes. Isn't that just so wild? There's hundreds of tomatoes in here. If I lift this up, I don't know if you can see all those tomatoes dangling, but look at that. You guys. This is just so amazing. I am so stinking excited of how all the tomatoes are growing, how everything is doing. And yeah, this is the bronze torch. Looking so massive. Look at that. Isn't that just so crazy? Now on this little corner right here, this one has little, what is it, bottom rot right here. And that can be because of a lot of things. That could be low in calcium, that could be a lot of water. So you just have to do your own research. And I feel like I've probably been overwatering this one. But regardless, if I'm overwatering it, it's still doing fantastic. So yeah, that's how this is doing, the bronze torch. Now, over here on this side right here are the beans, the garden beans. And they have not disappointed. I have collected so many beans. There's one right there ready to be harvested. So many beans from this plant. They are so delicious. There's another one. Look at that. Oh, there's another one right in here. Look at that. So many beans in this plant right here. It's so fantastic. We have some baby ones growing. We got big ones still in there. So I definitely need to harvest a bunch of beans. But look at how amazing that is. Isn't that just so crazy? And it's October. Normally, these things have already died out, and I've been pulling them out, but not right now. Not right now. Everything's still producing and doing so well. So now let me share with you how this garden bed is doing. All right, so over here in this garden bed, we have some more Roma tomatoes that I succession sowed to see if I can get some fall tomatoes. And so far, so good. So we have, these are some Roma tomatoes by Botanical Interest. And I have 3 of them. I actually have 4 of them growing in this garden bed, but 3 of them are doing really well. And we have a lot of tomatoes still. So many tomatoes. Man, I hope they don't all ripen up around the same time, because that's going to be a lot. That's going to be a lot. I'm going to have to start giving some of these tomatoes away. But yeah, that's how the tomatoes are doing. Fantastic. And then right over here, we have a little dahlia that decided to join the party. So that's so exciting. I cannot wait to see what color that is. And I forgot what variety this one is. I don't know if it's a red one or if it's a dinner plate one of those humongous ones. We're about to find out. So that is how these tomatoes are doing. And then all of the strawberries that are growing in the back, right in there, are doing super good. Now, look at this monstrosity. Our Jerusalem artichokes are massive, so massive. I cannot wait to harvest these Jerusalem artichokes. I hope I get them all, because look at how crazy this garden bed is. I can't even plant anything in it. In the beginning, there was so many things planted. There was some carrots, there was turnips, spinach, artichokes. What else did I plant? I know I planted so many things, and some things came up and some things didn't come up because of this Jerusalem artichokes. And then, as you can see, the garden is full and no gingerbread house yet, which I have decided to put the gingerbread house right in front of that tree over there instead of in front of the arches, because we have water and electricity over there, and we won't have to move anything. We won't have to move any garden beds or anything like that, because I really like the little trellis over here. But let me get through this little area. Look at this. It's like a jungle. Like a jungle. Hopefully no bugs follow me. But over here we have our blackberry bush. No blackberries. Nothing. But this is how it looks. Looks pretty good still. Still growing. All right, so now let me show you this garden bed and show you how this garden bed is doing. Okay, so over here we have our 3 basil. And these are the basils that I bought from the market. And it's doing so well. They're doing so well. I have harvested so much basil from this and made so much pesto. So I can still harvest more. So I'm super excited to do that. Now, when some of them start to flower, I just pinch off the tops, just like that. I just pinch that off. And yes, you can eat this, you can give it to the chickens or whatever, but I just pinch it off and toss it. Sometimes I eat it, sometimes I don't. It just depends on how I feel and the mood that I'm in that day, if I want basil or not. But that's how the basil is doing. Fantastic. Now I do have some tomatoes at the very end that are looking a little weak. I'm not even too sure what kind they are. I did have a tag, but I don't know if I did the tag correctly. It's called Glacier. These are called Glacier something. Glacier Bush. That's what these are called by Botanical Interest. And this is how big they are. Now I do have a couple little tomatoes right in there. And unfortunately, I did have to pull out the cucumbers right in here because they did get some sort of powdery mildew. So I ended up pulling that out. And hopefully these tomatoes will grow a little bigger and maybe we'll get some more tomatoes, which I don't know what I was thinking because we have so many tomatoes. At first I was talking like, oh, we don't have that many tomatoes, but I don't know what I was thinking. We have plenty of tomatoes, and I definitely grew more. So here are some Roma tomatoes, and doing fantastic. I can't complain. Everything's growing. Now this was my, let's see, my second succession of tomatoes. So I planted my first batch in March. I started my first seeds in March. So 2 weeks later, I started a second succession of seeds, and this is it. So far so good, and I was really worried. I was thinking, oh, they're not going to produce anything. Oh, they didn't give me anything. But look at it now. It's showing off. So yeah, I am so happy, and I really hope that all of my tomatoes ripen up. I really hope that all the tomatoes I grew all ripen up, because there's so much fruit on them, and it's so hard to take out plants when they have that much fruit and vegetables and things like that. It's just so difficult, especially when they're so green and lush. All right, so let me show you how the other garden beds are doing. So my goal for this trellis to eventually get something that wants to grow all the way to the other side like a rainbow. I cannot even wait. And look at all these cucumbers I harvested, because I just ripped off that cucumber plant early this morning, so now I got to take all these cucumbers in. But I cannot wait to get something to trellis over this. I was thinking about doing some beans or something like that, some like peas or something like that. So I think that's going to be fantastic. But let me share with you how this other garden bed is doing. All right, so over here in this garden bed, we have a ton more basil. So we have this new basil, this one right here is new, and the one in the back is new. So when I do containers at job sites, sometimes when they're next to restaurants, what I like to do is I like to put some sort of herb or some sort of like tomato, something that's food related, because I thought that's so unique and so different to, you know, just have containers where you're eating, to have some sort of I don't know, produce. So since I planted these basils in the containers and they were doing so well, I just popped them out and I brought them home and I popped them here in the garden. So now we have more basil to make more pesto. So that is so exciting. So I have all this basil right here. I have the 3 basils in the other bed, and I have 2 basils over here in this other bed. They're just so huge. So I could probably harvest a ton of this and make a bunch more pesto for the winter time. And let me tell you, I have been so enjoying this pesto. What I've been doing with it is lately I have been making grilled cheese sandwiches with mozzarella. So I'll get the sourdough bread, I'll put the mozzarella over the top of it, and then I'll add some cheese and some, let's see, no, not cheese, mozzarella, tomatoes, let's see what else, basil, and pesto. And then I put it together and I grill it. Oh my gosh, it is so delicious. So you should try it. It's so good. And that's what I've been doing with all of my basil. Not only am I using it to make pesto, but I also cook with it. I put it in the tomato sauce. I put it in, I make a Thai dish that requires some basil. I also put it in Thai curries and things like that. So there's so many different uses for basil. So I am so loving it, and I'm just so pleased at how much basil I am getting from this here little area right in here. And then right in here we do have some of our blue lake beans, and I have gotten probably about a handful of blue lake beans from this little area right here, and I'll still take it. They're still delicious, and yeah, they're still doing really good. Now over here is our raspberry bush, and yeah, this is how it's doing. No raspberries. It's not dead. It's looking pretty good still. It's still green. I can't really complain, but I wish we had some raspberries, and I hope one of these days we get some raspberries, and blackberries, and lemons, and strawberries, you know, all of the above. I want all of it. All right, so over here we have our cherry falls. Look at that. Aren't those so amazing? So these are the seedlings that I planted, and kind of later in the season, and these are determinate varieties. And so this is how they're doing. And let me give you a closer look, because some of them are already blushing. Look at that. Look at all those little cherry tomatoes. So last year I used these cherry tomatoes for salsa, and they're doing so good, so fantastic. So I cannot wait to harvest all these tomatoes. Look at that, all these beautiful cherry tomatoes. So many of them. So there's the basil right there. Have some more of that basil right in there, looking so fantastic. And then, my friends, these are the sun golds. Look at all those sun golds. Look at how many sun golds. Do you see all those clusters of tomatoes growing? Look at this. October 8th, you guys. We are in October, and it is October 8th, and look at all of these tomatoes still. Now, some of the plant is dying out like that, but for the most part, yeah, not enough for me to pull out. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm tickled with joy with all of these vegetables growing still in October. Okay, so we also have more cherry falls over here on this end, and this one doesn't look as healthy as they do on the other side. I'm not even too sure why, but they're still growing a ton of tomatoes. There's still a lot of tomatoes growing on this plant, but I can see all these little white flies, so I'm not even too sure why, and I don't know if I should be, you know, I don't know what I should be doing with it. I'm not going to spray it with anything. I'm just going to let it run its course. So that way the bugs don't jump onto any other plants. So if they're attracted to this one, then I'll just, you know, let it go, because we have so many tomatoes. But right here we have a ton of garlic. We have so much garlic right in this little area that's doing so well. And then we have our artichoke plants right there in the back corner that is doing well. Look at that. Huge. It's doing super good. But see, look at that. These tomatoes. Look at that, guys. Look at this. Do you see that cluster of tomatoes right there? Knocked one off on accident. But here are the artichokes, and doing fantastic. Oh, look, a dahlia. Oh my gosh. Let me show you this dahlia. Oh, you guys. I think this is one of those dinner plate dahlias that I planted kind of late in the season, but the color, the camera does not give it any justice, but look how massive that is. Right there. That's huge right in there. My goodness, I cannot wait to show you this beautiful dahlia. But all the garlic is growing along with the weeds. Everything's looking fantastic and green. All right, so over here we have our eggplant. And this is just one eggplant. Let me show you how massive it is. Look at that eggplant. I don't know if the camera gives it justice on how big it is, but there's so many eggplant on this eggplant that, yeah, a ton. So many. Let me see if I could show you how many eggplant we have going in here. Do you see that? Do you see all that eggplant right in there? Hopefully I didn't break anything off, but so many eggplant. Yeah, I only have one. I'm not even too sure, you know, what to actually do with all of this eggplant. I've made one dish, or actually I started the dish and John finished it, but look at this eggplant. Look how big that is. Do you see that? The thing is huge. So many. And it's doing so fantastic. So this is the bed that I had all the zucchini in. Now the zucchini had powdery mildew, so I ended up just ripping everything out. Just because powdery mildew is very contagious, or it can spread to your plants very easily. So I did not want that to happen, even though these are the what are they called? These are the purple Cherokees. Even though the purple Cherokees, I feel like they're kind of dying out a little bit. Like, see, the leaves are kind of dying out. They're not looking super healthy like that. But they are still producing. Let me show you these tomatoes. You guys, so many tomatoes. Do you see that? Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 tomatoes just in this area right here. Now let me show you the other side. The other side, holy moly. The other side are the pink Berkeleys, and they do not disappoint. I'm totally going to plant the pink Berkeleys next year for sure, because I am just so pleased at how much we have received from this side. Now, let me show you. It's quite bit like, it's like a jungle. Look at this. So there's a purple, no, this is a pink Berkeley. Now right here we have a cluster of pink Berkeleys. I don't know if you could see that right in there. this just does not give you any justice. Look at that. There's 3 of them right in there. And there's a ton. Let me see if I can get the camera in here so I can give you a really good view as to how many tomatoes are growing on this, on these tomato plants, pink Berkeleys. Look at that. So there's 2 of them right in there. And then there's some more right in there. And then there's some more up in there. Do you see that right in there? There's a big one. There's another one right there. There's another one right there. Oh my goodness, there's some more right in the back there. Do you see those little clusters? I don't know if you can see them. I can't see them. There they are. Look at that. There's 2 of them right there. One right there. One right there. Oh my gosh. And then, oh, look at this. Look at these. Do you see those? Look at those. Holy moly, you guys. Look at this one. Oh my goodness. And then on this side of the jungle, we have our peppers. All of our peppers. I can't give them away fast enough. We have bell peppers. We have hot peppers. We have barren peppers. Look at these. These are some more bell peppers that I should prop up. We have, this is a tomato plant that I don't know where it came from. I don't even know. I think this is supposed to be on the other side. We have some barren peppers. I can't even get it all in there. We have some Cheeto peppers, Hungarian peppers. Peppers galore right in here in this little jungle mess. And then on the other side of this trellis, we have our 5-star cherry tomatoes. So many cherry tomatoes. Let me go around the other side so I can show you how crazy this mess looks. All right, so here on this side are our cherry tomatoes, and look at how many clusters. Give you a really good view at how many cherry tomatoes we have going here. Look at all those cherry tomatoes. Now these cherry tomatoes, I really like to put them in stews. They're a little bit, the skin is a little bit harder, a little tougher, and so they don't fall apart when I put them in soups or in dishes like that. So that's a really great 5-star tomatoes, really great tomatoes to have, especially if you like cooking with them. And then this is the other side of those peppers. Look at all those peppers in there. You see all those red peppers in there? Holy moly, you guys. Look at this. Ton. And look at these tomatoes. Look at that. Oh, they're so beautiful. So that is how this area is doing right in here with all my jungle mess right here. It's so beautiful. And then over here, I started a bunch of garlic, and I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little holes that I could still plant some garlic in. But we have a ton of garlic, and it's growing, popping up, looking so fantastic. So that's so exciting. So that is how the big garden is doing. It looks so full right now just because we have all these plants in the center. But look at how great it's doing. It's just so flourishing. It's so full. It's so beautiful. And all the animals are doing fantastic. That little parakeet that was hanging out with the chickens. I don't know if Luke's in or Hank's in here. That little parakeet that has been hanging out with the chickens it's been coming back regularly early in the morning. So yeah, I guess it's just part of our pet now. And let me tell you, I felt like Cinderella. I felt like Cinderella when I saw that parakeet in here. I was whistling, putting my finger out, thinking it's gonna land on it. I'm like, no, it's not gonna land on it. Okay, so here is the little garden. Not looking too good, I tell you what. All the pumpkins have pretty much died out. All of the melons have pretty much died out, and it's so bright right now. Yeah, so except for this blackberry bush right here is doing fantastic. Do you see that right in there? Doing fantastic. So for the most part, oh, this is our little Halloween prop. Do you like that? This is just a pumpkin painted green, and this is a stick, just a regular random stick with some leaves all painted green. And right over here are my dead melons. Nothing grew. I think maybe it got too hot, or maybe it didn't have enough nutrients, or what. I have no idea, but it's so bright out here right now. And then over here are the Kermit eggplants that are doing fantastic, still producing a ton of eggplant. Matter of fact, I just gave so many of them away to our neighbor across the way because she loves the eggplant and she knows how to cook with it more than I do. So have at it. So I told her, come and take more if you need it. And then let me show you, this is the entrance to our cemetery for our Halloween party. How cool is that? That's just gonna be so exciting to have this Halloween party here. We should have tons of fun. Let me see, we have all of our tombstones in here. Isn't that great? We have a lady on a swing back yonder. I don't know if you can see her. Get out of the sun here. We have a gal on a swing right there, but this is our little graveyard area where people could come in and take pictures and hang out and, I don't know, dance, I don't know, whatever they want to do, I guess, mingle. And then, let's see, let me show you all the other decorations. So we have these right here, see that? So this is gonna be a little ticket booth, photo booth area where we're gonna put them inside and decorate. So we're gonna do some more decorating next weekend to get ready for our Halloween party. So that's gonna be so much fun. And then let me show you some of the little containers that I've been doing. And I've been testing out how, cause you know, I'm not really an expert at doing containers quite yet. I have been working on it over the years and trying to get better at it. So I have been practicing at home and I came up with a cute little idea. So you see that? So we did this at the mall, at one of the shopping centers, and I practiced it here first, and then I took it out to the shopping center to see if it was gonna do good. And oh my gosh, they look so stinking cute. So here are a couple of them that I did. Look at that, isn't that so cute? So I have a corn stalk in the center, we have some kale, we have some creeping Jenny, we have some pansies, we have some penny violas, we have a busy street. So crazy. But yeah, everything's growing so fantastic, looks so good. I did the fire truck up, look how beautiful it looks. Do you see that? So pretty. So that is pretty much what is happening on the farm. Things are growing, the tomatoes are looking fantastic, animals are doing wonderful. Yeah, everyone's doing really well. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, thank you for hanging out with me. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.